Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0 in the FA Cup third round. And I think we've all just witnessed one of the worst decisions any of us have ever seen on a football pitch. A truly horrendous red card for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I am still trying to process how that could be a red card. It's not even a foul. It is not even a foul. And yet, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is sent off and will now miss 3 games. The game is just absolutely... The game is absolutely done, isn't it? And it just can't be... It can't be left. It can't be left in this state. You know, what's going on in football at the moment is just... It's destroying itself. It is absolutely destroying itself. Everywhere you look, in every facet of football is destroying itself as some kind of weird perfection. You know, we've all played the game. We've all watched the game. We all know what a foul looks like. We all know what a coming together looks like. We all know when someone has gone to do somebody. Dominic Calvert-Lewin slides in, wins the ball, maybe touches the sock of the player. The game goes on, the referee sees it, and somehow it's pulled back and as soon as we know he goes to the monitor, we know what's going to happen. The referee has shit himself when he's gone to the monitor. Absolutely bottled it. He could have just gone no. He has a good look at it. And I just can't understand how people can be behind what is going on in football at the moment, and how people can be advocates for it, and how people can just sort of let it go as just one of those things. Football is being ruined, absolutely ruined as a spectacle. I mean, number one tonight, the game being on a Thursday night is just a joke on its own, and it's like another reason why football is the way it is. It's on a Thursday night. It's evident that no one really wants to be there. The players didn't look like not that they didn't look arsed. They wouldn't have a good play for not looking arsed, but it just didn't have any kind of feel of that being a cup tie. You know, our fans would travel anywhere no matter what, and they were absolutely amazing again. But let's be honest, people don't want to be there. They don't want to be taking a day off today and then maybe taking a day off tomorrow. So that ruins it as a spectacle before you've even started. You're not excited about an FA Cup game with Crystal Palace on a Thursday night. The game itself was just became a boring spectacle as it went on. And it's almost like they go, oh, we need something to liven this up. We need something to get this some headlines. We need the FA to get some headlines. And then I honestly, like, you see incidents all the time. You can argue about fouls all day. You can look at like Onana's against Spurs and go, well, you know, he's got hold of his shirt and he's got hold of his arm, or you can talk about them all day as like, is it or isn't? You know, you look at that and there's a shot of one of their players basically standing next to Dominic Calvert-Lewin going, that's not a red card. He's basically standing going to him, that's not a red card. And I just don't know how anyone can... I don't know how anyone can think this is good. This is good for the game. It's such a blatant thing, and now we're going to lose Dominic Calvert-Lewin for 3 games. And luckily enough, because we have got a replay, one of them will go on the replay. But it's not even that. It's not even It's not even the fact that he's going to be suspended for 3 games, which is obviously a huge thing. It's just the injustice of it all. And it's just where football's going as a whole. That really worries me. That it's becoming it's becoming an elitist, non-contact specimen where we end up getting games like that tonight, by the way, because of all the games we've played over Christmas. Because they want to get them all in to get them on TV. And it's just honestly, it's not the game I don't think a lot of us fell in love with. And the game that I just don't know how I don't know how that sort of works its way through the tiers as well. What happens in, like, I don't know what happens in kids football and Sunday League football. Is that what happens there as well now? Can you not have any? Is that non-contact? It's just I just absolutely hate it now. Some of the stuff that goes on in the game, I absolutely do. And it's not just because of Everton. It's not because we're at the wrong end of it. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing of, like, the thing yesterday of announcing that clubs in 2 weeks you'll find out who's getting done, and they're going to get it all sorted, and if there's an appeal process, you won't hear it till after the last game of the season. It's just like, what is going on in football? What is going on that we now have rules that mean that the season might finish and you might know who's been relegated till weeks afterwards? What is happening when teams are being done? And you're going to find out. It's like, we're going to do a countdown for 2 weeks. Live on Sky Sports, we'll unveil who's being punished. It's like, didn't it used to be about 11 fellas kicking a ball around the pitch? It's just gone. It's just gone. I'm horrified by that tonight. And I must say, before I went on, I'm even more, I don't know if it's angry or upset, but the injury to Dwight McNeil is really just, that's killed me off. To see our whole team after the sending off running around like an absolute gang of lunatics to make sure that we don't concede, and then to see one of them get an injury, and it immediately looks like a bad injury. I mean, the first thing you're seeing is his sock being cut off his leg, and then his leg being put in a brace, and we've just lost Dom for 3 games, and who knows how long we're going to lose Dwight McNeil, one of our most important players. That's, what he's had to deal with recently in his personal life, and it's just a fucking shambles. It really is a shambles. Like, the whole thing's a shambles. Listen, the manager decided he played quite a strong team tonight, and that's his. The players must have said they wanted to play, and all that kind of thing. So that's fine. That's the team he wanted to play. And in typical Everton style, we are going to pay for it. And Dwight McNeil, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. He didn't immediately, just didn't move, and he's having his sock cut off him, and just that looks like it might have been the ankle, maybe, which is a really bad one. I think he done his ankle in pre-season, didn't he? So I don't know what's going on. We'll have to hear. Yeah, I'm just losing. I'm losing the plot with the whole thing, which is really hard when it's like quite literally your job to fathom what is going on in the game. It really does test. We've been tested, obviously, by our own football club in the last couple of years, but this stuff really tests. Yeah, and when you're losing, I mean, Dwight McNeil arguably he's been one of our most consistent performers. So to see him injured and who knows? Who knows how long he'll be out for? But it doesn't look good, does it? And then that can completely wreck your plans. You know, obviously Danjuma would be staying, and does that mean if Danjuma had gone back, we could have brought someone else in? The squad is just paper thin. It is paper thin, and it's not going to be easy. The next 5 months is not going to be easy. So to see one of your best players go off on a stretcher with a leg brace, it's just like it was. I'd said earlier on in the day, if anyone had watched the live earlier, I just wasn't excited for this game whatsoever. You know, the magic of the cup and all that, but that's what can happen. I don't put any blame on any of our players. I don't really put any blame. The manager had the team to pick and he picked it. It's just typical us, isn't it? Typical us. The other one was I've seen some of the stills of Beto getting held in the last minute. 2 arms wrapped around him, and the VAR took 1.3 seconds to review it. And yet Doms was looked at for about 5 minutes, and then the ref went over and looked at it for another 2 minutes. Like they were trying to see if he'd touched the fibres of his sock or something. It's absolutely yeah. And the problem with the game is now we're not fighting with an even hand anymore, and you know, FFP and all that has put an end to any kind of, I don't know if fairness is the right word, but it's not allowing anyone to go to try and challenge the hierarchy in the Premier League. So you lose with that, and then VAR is the way they've used it is the same, and it's there. When you're bringing in VAR, I honestly thought it would end all this kind of nonsense, and it hasn't. It's doubled down on it. It really has doubled down on it. And I don't know where the game goes. I really don't, because if it just keeps heading down this way, it's what's the point? What is the point? What is the point? Listen, the players when we went down to 10 men were brilliant. They stood up. They were stood up to be counted. They made sure that the red card was, you know, not the cause of us to lose the game, because we were so comfortable in the game, so ridiculously comfortable. You know, I know they had a few over the bar, and they had I think Virginia maybe that's happened with one save. He had to make one save when we'd gone down to 10 men. But we were so comfortable in the game. We were just poor in the final third. There was very little getting through to Dom Calvert-Lewin, and when he did get through to him, he was playing with a player as a player with no confidence. And the irony is, I said the other day I wanted to see him be a bit more aggressive, and that was the first time he showed any aggression, sliding in, winning the ball, and then getting us on the front foot. And that happens, and it's just, I'm stunned by it. I'm stunned by it. I really am. And maybe I shouldn't be stunned by it. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe what everybody says is true, and someone has got it out for us, and they're not going to stop until they have us relegated. I don't know, but I'm stunned by that decision. I really am. I don't know if I've ever seen if I've ever seen a worse red card for something that has looked. I've seen red cards when there was no VAR, but I don't know if I've ever seen a VAR as bad as that. When someone gets an opportunity to look at it and then sends the referee to look at it, that is, I'm stunned by that. And I think at some point, a team is gonna. A manager is just going to take it. I don't know whether this will happen, but we've seen it happen in other places. But a manager or something will just take a team off and just go, we're not willing to play. I've just heard Seamus, and Seamus said that the decision was a disgrace without getting angry, which was good. But I really hope Dyche kicks off about it, even if he doesn't get angry, even if it's just in his own way. I hope he really kicks off about that decision, because it's absolutely horrendous. And as I said, the one on Beto looks like the lad's got two arms wrapped around him. Don't know. But I mean, the game itself, as I said, I think the game itself we had full control. We just didn't get anywhere in the final third. I thought João Virginia done well in goal. We looked really calm at the back. Seamus, Michalenko, Taki and Brantwaite looked easily solid at the back. I thought Onana was playing with his slippers on, if I'm honest. Onana was playing in second gear and was still the best player on the pitch. Easily the best player on the pitch. But we just didn't get forward enough. We just didn't test them enough. Jack Harrison was very wasteful in front of goal. Dwight playing on the right didn't really work. Danjuma looked good in the first half. Maybe he should have scored where he had a run of goal. Harrison put him in. And Dom not in the game enough. Just not in the game enough. I think he had 5 touches after about an hour. Just not in the game enough. But, you know, who knows? Maybe because they got something late. Dom was about to be subbed. Beto was about to come on. Maybe we've got something late. But yeah. It just makes you question. It makes you question what's the point. It makes you question why do we do it? Because we love the team, we love the club. We don't do it because of the game. The game is fucking gone, absolutely gone at every level. I talk about this nearly every single day. How, you know, it's just every single level of the game now. The refereeing is just abysmal. The FFP stuff is just abysmal. The way football just conducts itself in general, there's nothing appealing about it to me, the way it's gone. And when you watch games like that, it just confirms everything you feel about it. And all I would say is, you know, well done to all those people who go to the away games, the 4,000 there tonight. Honestly, they just, what they do week in and week out, I don't have the stomach to do. I really don't. I don't have the stomach to do that, because I just don't have that love for the game. That clearly those people do. So well done to all them, because it's horrible. It's horrible. We've had to put up with our own club, and now we've got to put up with this, and it just feels like a never-ending. Maybe we're all dead. Maybe it's like the end of Lost. Maybe we're all dead. Maybe we're all in purgatory, waiting to be relegated, and then we can go into heaven or whatever. I don't know. It was just. There you go. I don't know what more to say, because it wasn't a very good football match, and if Dom hadn't been sent off, then it would have been just so bad as a game. And I'm not blaming the players on either side. I think I've said this. I think the schedule is a joke. It's an absolute joke, the amount of games they have to play in December. I think it's a joke. So I wouldn't blame either sets of players for being lackluster. On the magic of the cup on a Thursday night, 8 o'clock, ITV4. The magic of the cup. Jesus Christ. Spare me. Absolute spermy. So I can't. You know what? I'm not gonna rant. I've got nothing to rant about because I'm just gone with the game. I really am. It just doesn't have that appeal to me anymore. I just don't love it the way I used to love it. I really don't. And when I watch games like that, honestly, I know I sound miserable, but I think a lot of people will agree with me. When you watch games like that, and you know it's not going to be a good game, you know it's going to be a test as a fan, and then you see something like that happen, and it's right there in front of you, and you know it's bollocks, you know it's total bullshit. You know, this is what corruption looks like, and I'm not talking like big corruption. I'm talking little c corruption of something happening in front of you that everybody knows. Everyone in that ground knew it wasn't a red card. Everybody, the commentators knew it wasn't a red card. The people on the ITV afterwards said it wasn't a red card. I can't even know who the guy was, but he basically just went, it wasn't even a foul. Every single person knows that it's not a red card, and yet he'll still get a 3-match ban. That's what I mean. That's what breaks me as a fan, is everybody knows that's not a red card, and yet he'll still serve a 3-match ban, even though every single person in the world, except maybe Roy Hodgson, maybe, I don't know what he said, but everybody knows. And because they've slowed it down to the point where you can see contact. Like, absolutely slowed it down so you can see some kind of contact and gone, see, he's done in there, the studs are up. And that's not how football is played. Football is played at high speed with professional footballers at their peak of fitness. And we're supposed to have the best league in the world, so this is supposed to be the best cup competition in the world. Bollocks. We've got the worst referees. We've got the worst VAR officials. And it's honestly led. Roy apparently said it was unlucky, thank you. It is led by donkeys. We've got a system that goes looking for bad decisions, goes looking to try and disallow goals, goes looking to try and make decisions that aren't there. And people, and what they do is they hype the game to a point where it's like, oh, you've got to watch this, you've got to watch that. And it's like you sit down and watch a game and you're like, this is crap. And also in a game, by the way, that if the game had been played, I know I'm starting to rant now, aren't I? If the game had been played at a championship, if we were playing a championship team, he wouldn't have been sent off. See, that's the other thing. If we'd been playing Birmingham City, he wouldn't have been sent off because there's no VAR. So how does that work? I am starting to rant. So if that decision can happen in lots of other games, and he would not be sent off because there's no VAR, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Anyway, another game. What would that be? A week on Wednesday or a week on Tuesday, maybe? Another game. I didn't want another game, but there we have it. We've got another game. At least that's one more game that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can be out, can miss. Beto's, the foul or the hold on Beto was checked. 1 second it took to check his VAR. 1 second it took to check. So think about all the time they took to check DOMs and all the time they took to go over to the screen. And Beto, who, if you slow it down, has two arms wrapped around him. And there's nothing to see. And people wonder we, certainly as Everton fans, believe there is some kind of blatant conspiracy going on. You know, people wonder why that's going on. I tell you what, if there isn't a conspiracy against us, they're doing a great job of pretending there is. Yeah. As I said, I am just so tired of the game now. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of what we have to experience every week as a football fan. And as I said, the worst one for me is, the worst thing out of all of it is that even, and I suppose this is what VAR was brought in for, every single person, it's like when you start, like in the old days before VAR, every single person knew except the ref, and even they'd show it on the screen sometimes, and the ref couldn't do nothing. Now the ref can do something. They can do something, and yet, or you can go to the screen and go, no, there's nothing there, but they don't. And again, I imagine the manager in his press conference will say this again. What is the point of the screen if the decision's already been made? And then that leads to who's refereeing the game. And you know what? If Dom had took him out, if Dom had put his studs into his shin by accident, I'd say it's a red card by the letter of the law, but he didn't. He didn't. It's not a foul. It's not a foul at any level. At any level. If that happened in Sunday League, you just get on with it. If that happens in the Championship, you just get on with it. But that's the game now. That's the game. And some of the players are just to blame as well for the way they throw themselves down. Eze again getting booked for diving. They've got no... This is what makes it even worse. The players have no respect amongst each other. So why would they have respect for anybody else? And that does make the referee's job slightly harder. But the players, all the players want to do is cheat. All the players want to do is throw themselves around, throw themselves on the floor. And yet if you don't throw yourself on the floor, you don't get a penalty. You know, as we saw with Onana's against Spurs, and then the same guy does it to a lad at Brighton. He went down, he got the penalty. Onana didn't go down. Whether it was a penalty or not doesn't matter. He went down, so he got a penalty because he had all of his shirt. That's the game now. That's the game. That's where we are. So I'm sure Everton will appeal it. No one else will get another game for frivolous appeal, but I can't honestly believe if somebody watched that and you said, is that dangerous play? They'd find dangerous play. But the problem is that what tends to happen is they look at it by the letter of the law. They go, well, his foot's up and he touches him, so it's dangerous play. And that's the way they do things. They do things robotically. They don't do things with any kind of common sense. He doesn't hurt him. He doesn't foul him. It's not enough to take him out. So it's not a red card. But the game now is so far down the other end. I've said this about things like handball. Handball is supposed to be deliberate handball. It's supposed to be because someone had a shot and you stop the ball from going in with your hand. That's handball. It's not if your hand's in an unnatural position. As I've said many times, the only place my arm is unnatural is if it's not attached to my body. So, horrendous, absolutely horrendous decision on a night when, let's be honest, it was a nothing game and it could have easily finished 0-0 and we could be sitting here going, oh, I've got to play another game and all this, but it's ended up with a bit of a horror show. And let's be honest, more because of Dwight McNeil. Dom's going to be missing for 3 games. Two of them are Premier League games, yeah, but Beto can play in that. But it's more Dwight McNeil for me that I'm really sick about. If I'm honest, really sick about that, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. Right, I'll be back in a little bit to do my player ratings. Baz will be doing his match reaction as well, so make sure you check out that. I'm sure he will just basically laugh at the officials. So make sure you check that out as well. Thanks for watching. See you later.